Welcome into a Thursday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, presented every day by Geaux Chevrolet. Speaking of Geaux Chevrolet, looking forward to catching up with Lee Carney at some point over the next 2 hours. He'll probably be stopping in the undisclosed location right around 8 a.m. He'll announce the newest to the lineup over at Geaux Chevrolet, as their new used car lot here in Baton Rouge is set to open up today. So looking forward to that here, as they will make the announcement here on the Jordy Culotta Show coming up within the hour. We will also talk to a couple of dads here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Right on brand as a dad show. Jimmy Chase Sr., after yesterday, his son Jamar blows up at LSU's Pro Day. He'll stop by at 8:15 this morning. Jimmy Burrow will stop by at 8:30 this morning, as Coach Burrow and the crew up in Cincinnati will give their thoughts on possibilities, where Cincinnati goes in the draft, and how much is Jamar a true option. We'll ask him. Joe was commenting on it a little bit about getting back together and reuniting with the former Biletnikoff Award receiver with LSU, as him and Joey were chopping up the record books just a couple of years ago in college football. Looking forward to today's show. As we said, Lee Carney will stop by. He'll be inside of the undisclosed location over some point here in the next 2 hours. Matt Sayman, who is a high school basketball coach over in the state of Texas, around Plano, around the Dallas area, was on the 2003 Baylor basketball team that we've talked about a couple of times here. The one that was within so much controversy, embroiled in controversy, as one of the players on the team was actually murdered by another player on the team. Sayman wrote a book about his time at Baylor titled "The Leftovers: Basketball, Betrayal, Baylor, and Beyond." He's now a very successful high school basketball coach over in the Dallas area. Our good friend Mark Cassio, who is the high school coach here at Catholic High, lead varsity coach over there, helped us set up that interview. So looking forward to talking to Sayman coming up here at 8 a.m. this morning. As we mentioned, Jimmy Burrow, Jimmy Chase in the second hour, and Walker Howard, the five-star quarterback from St. Thomas More, who is having a tremendous offseason here as he picked up his invitation to the Elite 11. He ran an impressive 4.5 in his 40 a couple of weeks back. A 4.63 is what he was clocked at over in Houston. We'll talk to him about some of the offseason and what he's preparing for in his senior season, and obviously his recruitment. How wild has it gotten since that fifth star was handed out just a couple of weeks ago? So looking forward to today's show. Remember, every day we're driven and powered by Geaux Chevrolet. As we said, Lee will be here before we get out of here at 9 a.m. this morning. Our coffee is brought to you every day by Majestic Coffee. Majestic Coffee, locally brewed here in the state of Louisiana. Great social media for Majestic Coffee, as you can find them, follow them, keep up with everything. But all of our coffee here inside of the undisclosed location is provided by Majestic Coffee and Metropolitan Health Group. When we talk to anyone on the phone lines this morning, it is brought to you by Metropolitan Health Group. Real doctors, real solutions. As we remind you every day, compliments of Charlie Harvey and Jason Ramazan over there at Metropolitan Health Group. Jamar Chase is the dog that everyone thought he was. You haven't heard from Chase in a long time. You got your first chance to see him yesterday at LSU's Pro Day. A very impressive showing for LSU yesterday. I thought that all of the Pro Day participants really represented the program and themselves a lot. If Wednesday was a movie, then Oprah Winfrey was playing the LSU football operations facility, and the gifts were 4 threes.
That's what I was about to say.
I mean,
you get a 4-3.
You get a 4-3, Racy McMath. You get a 4-3, Kerry Vincent. You get a 4-3, Terrace Marshall. You get a 4-3, Jamar Chase. I mean, speed on display yesterday morning at the LSU football ops facility. I thought more than anyone outside of Chase, I thought Chase just solidified his top wide receiver status. Wherever he comes off the board, it seems like there's a mad rush. And 1 month from today is the first round of the NFL draft. Round number 1 will start 4 Thursdays from today, and Ja'Marr Chase should not have to wait long within that first round before he hears his name. Now, there has been a rush on quarterback and a surge on quarterbacks here to the top of the draft, but at some point there's going to be a team that needs a playmaker within the top 5, 6 that's going to look at Ja'Marr Chase, and it's going to be tough to keep your hands off of him after everything that he accomplished at LSU over his 2-year run, and then what he was able to just prove at LSU's Pro Day on Wednesday. I mean, it was everything that you knew. Everything you knew Chase to be, right? The sure-handed wide receiver, the impressive route runner, physically. In fact, I was watching the NFL Network last night, and some of the feedback in listening to some of the general managers, decision makers, the people that were in the presence of yesterday's Pro Day over at LSU was just to see Chase physically and see how big and strong and put together he is as a playmaker. To me, it really brings to the forefront of how physically gifted he is. When you talk about the debate of Devonta Smith and Ja'Marr Chase, look, Smith is fantastic. And how about the Louisiana representation at wide receiver going to be in this draft? I mean, you're talking about the top 3 wide receivers coming off the board. Terrace Marshall made a lot of money yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Terrace Marshall made a lot of money by coming back and playing those 8 games in his junior season before he opted out the final 2. But yesterday at Pro Day, again, just kind of solidified his value. I mean, for him at that size, jump 39 inches and run 4.3, he's as sure-handed as college football had over the last couple of seasons. I think he stamped his ticket as a first-round pick. Devonta Smith at Alabama is going to be a first-round pick. He's out of Amite. Terrace Marshall's out of Shreveport. And then Ja'Marr Chase out of New Orleans. I mean, all those guys are going to be first-round picks when you talk about Louisiana talent, Louisiana wide receivers, and Chase is he's the king of the class.
If Chase doesn't work out yesterday and it's just Terrace Marshall, how much do you think his stock goes up?
Terrace?
Yeah. Because Ja'Marr stole the show, but if he's not there and you see Terrace Marshall do that, I think a lot of scouts have been like, hold up a second.
I think they are underneath.
Okay.
I think that Marshall was as impressive as Chase. But the fact that you haven't seen Chase in so long, that was the first time you've seen him work out it feels like over 16 months. And then to see the way that he was able to just put all the testing numbers down and the way that he felt. I mean, it was incredible to see the way that he ran, the ease. I mean, like you said, I mean, he was doing it with a hat on.
Yeah, it was old hat.
Yeah, I mean, he was stealing. I mean, it was just kind of like a walk in the park for him yesterday. And Racey McMath had a huge day. I mean, like what I thought from a value standpoint, McMath increased his stock more than anyone. I mean, I knew he was going to test well, but for him to run a 4.3,
it looked the way he did, put together.
Shush! I mean, he looked like the Predator running around out there. I mean, he is going to get on a roster, make his way as a special teams player, and possibly find himself in a rotation towards the back of the pack to start off with. And if he can catch the ball, I mean, there are examples and situations that you can look at from LSU's past that you can follow that road and find success. I mean, the Russell Gages and Russell Shepards of the world and the James Wrights of the world who just went and covered kicks for as long as they could, and if they were given another opportunity to make an impact, they would take advantage of it. I think Racey McMath is exactly that guy. I think he is he's exactly that to an NFL roster. And, what he showed yesterday, the way that he looked yesterday, all of that was, what a day. What a day for Racey McMath. I mean, he made a ton of money, I thought. I thought it was a great day, all in all, for LSU. I thought that they really took advantage of the pro day, and really from all the testing angles was very impressive. So we'll get back to that when we talk to Jimmy Chase coming up here in a couple of minutes here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We'll also talk to Walker Howard coming up here at 7:15 this morning. The other big story of the day was outside of LSU dominating their pro day. Jamar Chase, Terrace Marshall, Racey McMath, Kerry Vincent, another one who ran 4.3 yesterday. I think he's going to see his name called between the third and the fifth round coming up in the NFL draft. As we said, a month from today is going to be the opening round of NFL draft. Today's opening day in Major League Baseball as all 30 teams are scheduled to be in action, including Bregman and the Astros who'll be taking on the Oakland A's this afternoon on national television. So opening day in Major League Baseball here on April Fool's Day, on April 1st. So watch yourself.
We're sure they're starting.
Watch yourself,
today.
busboy over there. Noah's in the studio today. The youngsters watch the pranks today. Watch your back. J.J. Redick was speaking out on the New Orleans Pelicans.
Not a prank.
Not a prank, and he was pissed about how it went down in New Orleans on his Old Man and a Three podcast. J.J. Redick was really harsh on the way that the Pelicans front office handled the trade request and handled the trade to Dallas after last week's NBA trade deadline. For the first time, Redick was speaking publicly and was quoted in saying on the podcast, Old Man and a Three podcast is where you can find, and it's everywhere. It's a great listen. It's one of the great athletes podcasts that you can find as Redick has embraced the medium and the platform over the past couple of years and really is taking it mainstream. But this was what Redick had to say about Griffin. I talked to Griff. I talked to Trajan, talking about Trajan Langdon, and Griff obviously is David Griffin. Griff basically says to me, come down for a month. This is a month before the trade deadline when JJ is trying to get closer to his family in Brooklyn and really not enjoying playing for Stan Van Gundy. And it's easy to say that he's making $12 million, and I get that argument. I understand all that, and I'm with you. It's a business, and he's got to go to work to collect his check, and he understands that. If you listen to the podcast, he's really forthright and pretty upfront on that stuff. But this was the conversation between he and Griff that he described yesterday on the pod. He said, I talked to Griff, I talked to Trajan. Griff basically says to me, come down for a month. If you still want to be traded, I give you my word, I'll get you to a situation that you like. We had 4 subsequent conversations, Redick said, on Old Man and a Three. Again, my agent talked to them, but I'm talking to Griff directly. Griff and I had a personal relationship, and obviously he did not honor his word. Gail Benson made some comments yesterday publicly saying JJ had some things that he wanted to happen, but I think Griff cared very much about JJ and what he wanted, but he has a responsibility to, this is Stan Van Gundy, to Gail Benson and to the organization that supersedes all of that. Stan Van Gundy went on to say, listen, the one thing with me, and I think I've been consistent about this throughout my career, is you'll hear people say from time to time that it's a business. Well, it is. Players are going to want to do what's best for them, and they have every damn right to do that. And organizations have every damn right to do what's best for the organization. I have problems when it gets skewed that it's a business from my end, but you should not be a business on your end. That's not right. It's a business on both ends. Everyone should do what's best for them. That's the part of it, and that's the part that's recognized as the business. It's tough to disagree with what Stan Van Gundy says in that quote when you look at it just from a 30,000 scope view. Now, look, J.J. Redick believed that he had 15 years built up in the league. He was a veteran. By all accounts, anybody that's played alongside him or any team that he's been on, he's been recognized as a true professional. So he thought some of that equity that he had built up, he was going to be able to cash in on. But at the end of the day, they could not find the assets. They could not get in return anything of value for Redick up until that trade deadline, and Griffin had to run his business. And as much as I pulled for J.J. Redick and enjoyed him being a part of the New Orleans culture, and he had a lot of positive things to say about his city, about his time in New Orleans, I think this is the way that it works out. I think this is how it works. They can try to help you out and try to get to your desires and needs, but at the end of the day, it's a business, and that's what the Pelicans were doing. Let's link up with Walker Howard here, who Walker Howard is quickly becoming one of the conversations, and oh Lord,
oh Lord, your Bluetooth's up over here.
Yeah. Let me get connected to the roadcast.
You are.
Well, it says I'm disconnected over here. There we go.
Yeah, the only thing that makes this kind of stink is that the part of like I give you my word.
Yeah.
And that shows. And that
and that's the part that
has a stink to it.
And that's the one on the podcast that kind of sticks out. Walker, you there, buddy?
Yes, sir.
How are you, man?
Good. How are you? Can you hear me pretty good?
Yep, you got me?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. We're live. It's we appreciate you joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Congratulations on all the success up to this point. Even back to the we haven't talked to you since your junior year when you had just an incredible season. You guys experienced so much success where you threw for over 3,400 yards, all the touchdowns. You guys win the state championship in a great contest. What has the last year been like for you from an athletic standpoint?
It was exciting. Me and my team, we did a great job this year. We worked hard even during COVID when the restrictions were very tight, and being able to go undefeated and win a state championship as a team, it just means the world. It's unbelievable. It's our first time ever doing it as a team. It's just so exciting. You
guys didn't run from anybody. I mean, you played everyone. It seems like on the run. We had Gabe Fertitta over here, who was now taking the job over at Louisville as a wide receivers coach, but at the time he was the Catholic High head coach. And he spoke about trying to defend you and Besh that night at Memorial Stadium and said you guys were the toughest matchup that they faced all season. What was that run like? Because it seemed like you guys were in a slugfest week in, week out.
It was awesome. Well, I love to compete, and that's what I did every week. I went in there, played with my team, had all my great threats at receivers: Jack Carter, Arsenault, Paxton Perrette, Carter Domingue, Jackson Monklaw, and just being able to just spread out the offense and throw into every other guy because they're all studs on the field. And it was just so much fun to finally get out there and compete after a long year.
And then the off season for you has been very successful here in the short time period where you pick up a 5th star, you go to the Elite 11 regional camp last week in Houston and absolutely demolish it, whether it was the 4.6 that you clock in the 40 or the way that you were throwing the football. Everybody was raving about you. How's this been from just a recruiting standpoint and kind of jumping into the teeth of this thing and being one of the major players in it?
It's really exciting, especially during the time about to start my senior year. All these great camps coming up, and it's just so exciting. And I just gotta keep my head level and keep moving and keep working and get better.
What are you trying to improve on most here between your junior and senior season?
The mental part of the game. You never can know too much about what's going on the field, and just being able to watch more film, break it down, that's what I'm trying to work on this off season.
What was it like playing quarterback every snap? I know that there was a ton of expectation for you your sophomore year, and you were a guy that was still contributing to the team, and they were looking forward to the time in which you were going to be the quarterback of the program. After that year is now under your belt and you've played quarterback every down and you played all season long, what was that experience like?
Unbelievable. It is the greatest feeling in the whole world to finally get on the field and play. And especially out there with my team, it was unbelievable.
What does this summer entail for you, this spring, this summer? What is the offseason? You mentioned some of the camps. What's some of the things that you've got on the books that you're looking forward to?
The Elite 11, the finals of Elite 11, that's going to be exciting. I got a Rivals camp coming up. I'm ready for spring football. Get with my guys and start over. Get ready for next year. That's the main goal, is to win another state championship for next year. And I can't wait. That's for sure.
Walker Howard is joining us here. He is the class of the state when you talk about quarterbacks. And Walker, we look at LSU's quarterback room right now. You're committed to the class as a commitment in the future. And then some of the quarterbacks around the state that are competing for future scholarships as well. When you look at the LSU quarterback room right now and what you're stepping into, you got to love that from a competitive standpoint.
Absolutely. They're all top-notch quarterbacks in there. They're the best in the country. Those 4 quarterbacks in there, and I'm excited to get over there and start competing against them because they've been there already a couple years with Coach Peets, and just be able to get over there, compete against them every day, and learn from what they know, and just take all the knowledge up and just help me with my game.
What's your relationship been like with Jake Peets and being able to form that with the new offensive coordinator? Even a guy like DJ Mangus, who I know knows you from his short time here back with Joe Brady, when you guys were able to establish a relationship on the recruiting trail.
Yes, sir. Coach Peets. Coach Peets is the best. He's a great football coach, but he's a better person, and he's big on he's big on family, and that means a lot to me. And I'm really excited to get over there and get to hang out with him every day.
One of the things that's been pretty cool in watching you in doing these media tours and talking to interviews and going through this process. By the way, how do you like this part of it? Do you enjoy this part of the process?
Sometimes, I know. I don't really like big on interviews really, because I'd rather just go play football, but I'm going to do it, whatever.
Sure. No, I get you, man. I understand. I mean, some people just it's not their process. Some people just like to play it. How do you resource your dad, who has been through this, who I have a great relationship with, and he's been a mentor to me both personally and in the business world, and I know and can just hear the stresses he has from a father in watching his son play, both from a physical and a mental standpoint. How has he been a resource for you throughout this process?
My dad's been through the process. He knows what's going on, and just to have somebody like him in my life and just be a role model it's awesome for me. It helps me so much. He knows what to get involved with, not to get involved with. He's just been through the process, and he does a great job of helping me out through situations. Yeah,
nice, man. How crazy is it right now for you? I mean, I know you're an LSU commitment, but I'd imagine that everybody.
How full is that mailbox?
I'd imagine that everybody in the country's knocking on the door, and the cell phone doesn't stop ringing. How wild is it right now?
It's pretty fun. It's entertainment. It's entertaining for sure.
LSU solid. I mean, is that how you feel about it, or do you want to kind of see what this recruiting process can be?
LSU all the way.
A lot of people smiling around the state of Louisiana right now. All right, Walker. I know that you're headed on the way to school. Is it just football for you, or is you one sport guy now?
Just football, yes, sir.
When does spring start?
May.
Nice. May. Nice. What's the goal there? What's the challenge for the Cougars here as the defending state champs, where you guys have the target on your back? You're the top quarterback in the state. Everybody's going to know about you guys. What's the challenge for you guys as you look to repeat?
We got a lot of new players coming in, and we got to get to work. We know the expectations from last year, and we're just got to top it off for next year.
5-star quarterback Walker Howard out of Lafayette, Louisiana, pulling up at St. Thomas More on his way to school this morning, squeezing in an interview for us, man. I know you don't like it, but we appreciate your time. Thank you.
No, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You got it, man. There he is, Walker Howard, checking in from Southwest Louisiana this morning as he's it, man. That's the one.
Sounds solid.
That's the one. He said LSU. He said he's sticking with it, but I'd imagine that things are getting very crazy for him right now. I mean, when you just talk about being a 5-star quarterback, but if you were able to see some of the highlights from that Elite 11 camp that popped up in Houston a couple of weeks ago, and there were some commitments there. There were some commitments there that were committed to USC. I think there was an Arizona State commitment, and he's the one, man. I mean, the way that he throws the football. The junior season that he had, I mean, some of the highlights, if you were able to catch that Gabe Fertitta interview that we had a couple of weeks back, or it was over a month ago now, but I mean, just gushing about Jack Besh and Walker Howard, about how good those guys were, preparing for those guys, how precise they were in executing against them. I mean, those St. Thomas More highlights of specifically Besh and Howard, and I know that there's a bunch of dudes on that roster. I mean, it wasn't just those two guys, but I mean, they stole a lot of the headlines.
Oh, he rattled off about 6 receivers just now. That's without Jack.
And look, he spreads it to all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watch them play consistently, it's not just Jack Besh. I mean, Besh he's game in, game out the one that is usually at the top of the stat sheet and the highlights. But that is a college type offense. I mean, they throw the ball 45, 50 times a game.
Well, yeah, and if you've seen him play, like if you watch some of the pro day stuff that people are trying to do all these off platform throws and like kind of ad lib a little bit, he already does that. Mm-hmm. He's got all those like tricks in the bag.
Yeah. And his arm strength is it's next
Unfair.
level. I mean, it's pro level type arm strength.
He was throwing it through guys' hands at the Elite 11 camp, but those are Elite 11 receivers.
Absolutely. And I mean, zipping it through there. So we appreciate Walker Howard for stopping by here on this Thursday morning, as I know it's a very busy time for him, and a little bit of transparency there from the 5-star. I mean, look, man, interviews just not his thing, and if you know his dad, I mean, that's not his thing either. I mean, they're very much from the same cloth in that mold of, look, man, they'd just rather go play. I mean, just get them to the field and let them play. Daily, we're brought to you by AdvantaClean. Remember, ADVANTA clean.com is where you can get in touch with Bradley Lynch and his crew over at AdvantaClean. We remind you every single day, water, fire, mold is what you're going to need AdvantaClean for. If you see water damage around the house, if you're in the office and you see water stains in the ceiling from some leaks, or if you see fire damage, smoke damage, you see mold, you smell smoke, you can get in touch with AdvantaClean. AdvantaClean is online at AdvantaClean.com. But AdvantaClean here in Baton Rouge is located off Industrialplex, and you can call Lynch and the crew this morning, 225-369-5228, 369-5228, to get in touch with Bradley Lynch and AdvantaClean. Look, it is a process that you do not want to take on, right? With water, fire, mold. You wake up this morning, you get your feet out of the bed, you step on the carpet, and you feel moisture. That's not a good day. It's not a good way to start the day. But AdvantaClean can take care of that, from the construction company and dealing with the insurance. One call to Bradley Lynch at 369-5228, 369-5228 for AdvantaClean to take care of it today. ADVANTA clean.com, as AdvantaClean is a proud sponsor here of the Jordy Culotta Show. Good stuff from Walker Howard.
Yeah, what time does high school start?
7:30.
So he's 7:25. He's
just walking up. You got to imagine there's got to be a little bit of a grace period for the quarterback.
That's what I was getting at.
You know what I mean? A couple of minutes. Yeah, couple of minutes. I mean, when I asked him yesterday, I was like, "You at school tomorrow, huh?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "What time does it start?" He was like, 7:30. I was like, "So what, is it cool we call you?" It's like 7:15. He was like, yeah, that's fine. I was like, what if we run over a little bit? He was like, we're good, bro.
We're good. You think I am, dude? We're good. I don't want to have to play that card, but I can.
I was like, okay, can we do 7:30? He was like, let's not push it, man. Let's not get too bold.
I'm not, what's first hour?
Yeah, right. So this story here with Tiger Woods, what do we make of it? The Los Angeles County Sheriff says detectives have determined what caused Tiger Woods' crash with his SUV last month in Southern California, but not going to release the details, citing unspecific privacy concerns for the golf star. Investigators did not seek a search warrant for Woods' blood samples, which could have been screened for drugs and alcohol. Detectives, however, did obtain a search warrant for the data recorder known as the black box. I didn't even know that cars had black boxes like planes.
I guess they do.
From the 2021 SUV. The sheriff went on to say that what the data would not say, what data had been found in that box. A cause has been determined. The investigation has concluded. Is what the sheriff said yesterday during a social media live event Wednesday. But he did claim that two investigators would need permission from Woods to release any information about the crash.
With that.
Yeah,
I mean, the man's got a yacht named Privacy. You think he wants people poking around in his business?
What do you think here?
I mean, we're never going to know, but I think that's pretty damning in itself. I don't think he just took a cat nap.
Yeah,
old Tigre, but that's fine. The man has a history with those kind of things, and he's in a lot of pain. Back's tight, a lot of knee surgeries. If it's open for interpretation, which I doubt he wants, but I doubt he cares anymore.
No, I don't think he does. He definitely doesn't care to the degree of what he did a decade ago when his brand was being shattered in front of his face on live television. But I do think that if that is the case, I think personally somebody's got to get with him and say, look, man, you are blessed and in a spot where you really could hire a driver.
You know what I mean? That's what it has to be.
It needs to be to that degree in where you just employ somebody to transport him, right? I mean, anywhere he goes, he's got to have a personal driver. I mean, and it's something that our listening audience, us in this undisclosed location, and I'm sure 99% of you listening out there cannot relate to. Right? You don't have in your budget the ability to employ a full-time driver. Tiger Woods does, and he's got an issue with automobile accidents, and he's got a issue around automobiles while using drugs and being impaired. I mean, there's just too much evidence there, and this is now if this is the case. If this is the case, I don't know, like Lloyd does. I mean, it's closed, it's private. But if they are hiding something, I think internally you have to sit down and say, look, we are lucky to be alive. Sincerely. I mean, you look at the images of that car and just imagine what that fall was like. Real time being in that driver's seat and then having the capability to wake up and walk away from that or crawl away has got to be a humbling experience, especially if you are impaired. I mean, it has to be a moment where you're laying in that hospital bed with 2 broken legs or 2 blown out knees, thinking to yourself, some things have to change.
What the hell was I doing?
Yeah. I mean, like, no way that I'm in this situation again. Right? I mean, because of decisions and choices that I made.
And I wonder if it's just his personality, because he's obviously such an alpha. If he even wants, like my car I'm driving, like no big deal. Like if that's the way he thinks,
you got to be over that at 45.
Well, I'm just saying, Tiger Woods.
I hear you. But you got to have Tiger Woods has to have somebody on his team to say, yo, man, you got to kick that small. I mean, that's some small dick syndrome stuff, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Tiger's BDE.
Get the driver. Get the driver.
Tiger is he's very tight-lipped around his team. He doesn't necessarily have a team. He's got one guy that manages his brand per se. It's his best friend, and there's stories in Hank Haney's book about him talking to Tiger, and Tiger wouldn't if he offered a suggestion, Tiger would blow him off for a week, wouldn't talk to him. They had to go work together, no personal conversations. He's just that guy. If he perceives a slight, he's not talking to you. So it's probably hard to get Tiger's ear.
Yeah, his agent seems to be his best friend.
Yeah, his confidant.
That's the one that's always putting out the statements and issuing public, concern or statements for Tiger Woods. But like everyone, I mean, we'll never know because, I mean, this is going to be protected, and it's not going to be protected. It's just going to be closed. And you won't have the opportunity to read the police report or what went into it or, and there's been no felonies. There's been no charges brought to Woods. So, it's an open and closed case at this point. And we'll never know. But if it is the case, from Tiger Woods' standpoint, I'm a huge Tiger Woods fan.
You have to be.
I mean, if you grew up in that generation, it's tough to really not respect him. I understand that he's a polarizing guy in the sense that you would love or hate him, but when he was in his prime, you couldn't turn away.
No, he was run to the TV for a sport that people fall asleep to.
He still kind of is.
Oh, without a doubt.
I mean, if he's in contention, if his name is hovering around the leaderboard, I mean, you're bringing in fringe fans.
Without a doubt.
You know what I mean? You're bringing in fans that don't necessarily pay attention to the sport. So that was the news on Woods that came out yesterday. They have closed the case with Tiger Woods, and you'll never know. You'll never know what was the cause of the accident. Looking forward to our conversation coming up here with Matt Sayman at 8 o'clock, and we're going to talk to Lee Carney around that same top of the hour time. So we'll be moving and shaking here coming up in a couple of minutes as our second hour is jam-packed with a lot of people here. Sayman's going to lead us off, and he is the author of The Leftovers, Basketball, Betrayal, Baylor, and Beyond. This is a phenomenal book that has been endorsed by people like Tony Romo, Kim Mulkey of Baylor basketball has endorsed this. But this is an obvious look back at a firsthand account from Sayman's point of view, who was in Baylor's basketball program from 2000 to 2004. So during the 2002 season, in which Baylor basketball was slammed and just shoved into disarray, where Dave Bliss, the coach, was look, man, he was covering up a murder on his team. Brian Dennehy was a player there, and Carlos Dotson was another player on the team, and he murdered Dennehy. And it can all be seen on a documentary on Showtime called Disgraced. It came out in 2017, and Bliss is still trying to sell his story with some sense of cover-up in it. I mean, at the end, it is almost, it's sad. I mean, it is tough to watch him selling this story of trying to protect. I don't know. It's like, what are you trying to protect at this point, man? You've got a dead player killed by another teammate, and you're trying to bring people into the office to share stories and get everybody on the same page. I mean, people are looking around like, is this guy for real? And Sayman was a part of that team. And just, you know, from the front lines, what was that experience like? He's also a high school basketball coach now in a Dallas suburb, and very successful high school coach. Has really taken that experience and used it and spun it into a positive by writing the book and bringing the experience to the forefront and teaching and being a mentor and leader to young student athletes and young students since 2005. But I'm very much looking forward to the conversation of just the thought of somebody within Baylor basketball to see, to see where it's coming from in 2002, 2003, when Scott Drew took over this job, to where it is now. In Final Four last year, they were the favorite in the tournament. They were the overall number one seed, or they were the number one team going into a conference tournament weekend in which it looked like they were going to be the top overall seed in March Madness. But obviously with the COVID stuff and the season being canceled, it didn't work out. But what Drew has done to that program and where it's come from has been, I mean, geez, maybe the most successful rebuild of any collegiate program that you could document. I mean, give me one that's more impressive or comes from deeper in the valley than where Baylor basketball was in 2003 when Drew took this job. And I understand that there's a lot of people within the coaching industry that are aggravated and annoyed and put off by Drew. But again, a lot like what we were talking about with Tiger Woods a couple of minutes ago, you can love him or hate him, but you have to respect it. You know, I mean, what Baylor is now compared to what they were is a movie. I mean, people are talking about a movie in Inside the Bunker based on Tiger Woods' life, on all his success and some of his off the course problems. How much more of a movie could you think of when you talk about around college sports and Baylor basketball, to where and really the whole entire athletic program at Baylor,
and sleepy Waco too.
Yeah,
not a lot going on, and Baylor seemed to make it a place where stuff's happening.
David Koresh.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was started it all.
That was the only thing that I knew about Waco.
Me too.
I mean, that's the only thing I knew about Waco, Texas, is what they had, and there's nothing to laugh about. But I mean, they had a religious cult formed by Koresh that turned into a war versus the cops, like a shootout.
Oh, they had tanks there.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
But we will talk to the head coach, Matt Sayman, the high school basketball program over there at Texas, and was one that was a part of the Baylor basketball program there during the 03 season. Daily, we're brought to you by Elevate Treatment Center, Drug and Alcohol Rehab, right here, located in Baton Rouge. They're off Jefferson Highway. Elevate Treatment Program. Look, you can begin treatment today online. And the comfort of your own home, privacy, nobody has to know. ELEV, the number 8 treatment.com. Over at Elevate, they're dedicated to treating patients who are battling drug and alcohol addiction. Their goal is to guide you in the steps towards recovery and achieve and maintain sobriety. ElevateTreatment.com is where you can find them online. Like I said, once you get there, you can sign up for your treatment where it can begin today. Second hour, we got a lot of guests, and we're going to talk to Jimmy Chase. And we're going to talk to him about what Ja'Marr Chase did yesterday at his pro day, and wondering what the return has been with the communication. I'd imagine that Ja'Marr has stamped his ticket to being the number one skill player taken off the board outside of quarterback. Whoever goes and once they get through the mad rush of quarterback, and that could be a top 3, top 4 selection in this draft, they will get to a point where somebody needs a skill player outside of the quarterback spot, and I think it's Ja'Marr Chase. I think as soon as that spot is needed, he will be the first one off the board after what he showed yesterday and after what he accomplished, specifically in his junior season, but over the last 2 years, or 2 out of the last 3 years at LSU. So we will talk to Jimmy Chase about what the feedback has been there. And then Jimmy Burrow is coming up here at 8:30 this morning, and Coach Burrow will stop by, and we'll just talk ball with Coach Burrow like we always do. But Joe made some comments about reuniting with Ja'Marr and what Coach Burrow is hearing just being up in Cincinnati. We won't ask him on who he believes they'll draft because we don't want to put him in a tough spot. But we'll ask him on who he's hearing and who the faithful around Cincinnati wants. Look, they are making some free agent moves in the offseason on offensive line. I mean, that
gives you that wiggle room to maybe Ja'Marr.
That could give you the possibility of bringing in a playmaker. Also, A.J. Green, who has been their longtime wide receiver, is out. And has been, before Joe, he was the face of the franchise. Him and Geno Atkins, the defensive lineman, and both of those guys are now out of the facility in Cincinnati. So possibly, if they feel more comfortable and confident in what they've accomplished in free agency and bringing around protection for Burrow, then maybe they make a move. Maybe they go after Ja'Marr Chase. I mean, he would be tough if you don't need a quarterback and you need a couple of positions, and wide receiver is one of them. And Cincinnati's got some needs, obviously. I mean, offensive line is a glaring issue for the Bengals. We mentioned A.J. Green on the way out. A big-time playmaker at wide receiver would be an area of need. If wide receiver is high on the list of concerns and needs for you, I just don't know how you pass Chase up. I agree with Hunt in the sense, and Hunt Palmer was here earlier this week, and we were talking on Tuesday about Burrow voicing and talking about reuniting with Ja'Marr Chase and how he was pulling for that. And, Hunt saying he'd be furious if Cincinnati drafted anybody but an offensive lineman. And look, they've got to get protection for him. They have to. I mean, they nearly snapped him in year one. I mean, they nearly snapped his leg in year one and got him killed the entire time through. They've got to get protection around him, and hopefully they make some moves in free agency in the offensive line, and possibly if they do not choose an offensive lineman with that top pick, maybe it's later on in the draft. But I got to imagine that Chase is very enticing.
It's just so sexy to think about
for Cincinnati.
You either go O-line and you're like, all right, I know we need it, but then you got that sports car over there. It's like, if you want to drive the sedan, or do you want that?
Yes.
And it's in the pocketbook. You can afford it.
Yeah.
And, it's like,
and we need it.
And we need it.
And we need
You
it.
can talk yourself into it real easily.
Really quick. So, I mean, Jacksonville's going to draft Trevor Lawrence. The Jets seem like they're going to take Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, one of these next quarterbacks. San Francisco traded away 2 future first-round picks. They have their guy tabbed, right? They're making a move specifically for someone. Jimmy Garoppolo is there. but it doesn't feel like he's the long-term answer, so maybe they're in love with one of these quarterbacks. I feel like it's either Wilson or Lance, whichever one goes 2. I think that the other one falls to San Francisco at 3. Next is Atlanta at 4. I mean, Matt Ryan is at the end of his contract, or at the end of his career. At the end of his career, it kind of feels like there's a turnover on the coaching staff. There's a new head coach in Atlanta. You'd imagine that they would want to start that relationship with a future face of the franchise. I've seen Justin Fields from Atlanta. This makes a lot of sense with a quarterback at 4. So the first 4 selections feel like they're going to be quarterbacks in the draft that begins a month from today. At 5, you got Cincinnati. At 6, you've got Miami. Those 2 teams could use a wide receiver. And both of those teams I've seen in mock drafts have had Jamar Chase's name sketched by their franchise. So what I am now monitoring what Cincinnati is doing in the free agent market, specifically at offensive line. If they're making moves for offensive linemen and they feel like they can maybe pinpoint a couple within the back end, second, third round guys on the O-line, then more and more Chase begins to make sense for Cincinnati. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I could never see the scenario because I just thought you always had to go with what is Puel?
Yeah, from Oregon.
Yeah, Sine Puel it seems like the one that he would be the first off the board. But if they can make moves and if they can make some things happen and possibly set themselves up to get a skill player within the top 5, well, then, I mean, Jam Chase is sitting there, and I just don't know how you pass on him.
If Atlanta takes him at 4, I'm going to be sick.
Jamar?
Yes.
Oh, God.
I have to go up against that for 10 years. You get to see him play twice a year, but I don't want to anymore.
No, I mean, he's going to be better than Julio.
Well, especially gets to play with Julio and learn from him a little bit.
Well, I mean, and it depends on where you go, and obviously that has a huge effect on it, but I just think that Jamar Chase, especially if you can get him with one of these quarterbacks, I mean, if he could go to 5 to Cincinnati and just him and Burrow grow together. Now, I don't know how much they love Tua. They obviously love him more, enough to make the move and jump out of the position. I mean, they were sitting at 2, or they were sitting at 3. I mean, that's who San Francisco traded with to get to the 3rd spot. So they're obviously comfortable enough with Tua right now, thinking long term that they can get out of that spot and get out of the quarterback lottery. But I think that there's no way he's on the board at 7.
No.
There's no way he gets past Cincinnati and Miami outside of those quarterback picks. So we'll wait and see. But we'll talk to his dad coming up here at 8:15 this morning. All right, let's reset and get ready for the end of hour number 1, because once we jump into hour number 2, it's going to be a fast-moving hour with a lot of conversations. That's going to start off with Matt Sayman, the former Baylor basketball player, and then we're going to talk to Jimmy Chase about Jamar's pro day and some of the feedback that they've heard, and then Jimmy Burrow will be here at 8:30. So quick moving Thursday for you here on the Jordy Culotta Show, presented by Geaux Chevrolet. Stick around. Lee Carney's going to be in studio here in a couple of minutes to tell us what they have and a big announcement coming here in Baton Rouge to Florida Boulevard. Geaux Chevrolet driving us every single day here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Relief Health, the only way to get your health care in 2021. In your home or on site, Relief is changing how health care is delivered to you. No more doctor's offices, no more waiting rooms. Download the app today, Relief Health, from the Apple or Google app stores. You can get connected to a local doctor in your community or just order a test directly without talking to a doctor. Their COVID tests are live, and right now they have the Moderna vaccine. Online at reliefhealth.com or download the app from your Apple or Google app stores now. Relief Health, changing the way that healthcare is brought to you in 2021. Geaux Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Geaux Chevrolet. Remember, Geaux Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. All right, Final Four schedule for the weekend. Baylor and Houston will be game one as they'll go off at 4:15 on Saturday afternoon, and then Gonzaga and UCLA will be the late night tip, 7:30, as they'll be in prime time for you for a chance at the national championship, as that'll be on the line there for a tilt in Indianapolis. And we had a inside of the bunker, Andrew Messina, talking about Ask the JC Show. Does anybody have it better in sports media than Jim Nantz next week, calling the national championship on Monday and then heading down to Augusta to call the Masters?
Hello, friends.
The best the rest of the week. And yeah, don't forget that Nantz, a graduate of the University of Houston, and with a possibility to call his Cougars in a national championship game. I want to say the last time that Houston was in this atmosphere, Nantz might have been a student at Houston in '84 with Phi Slamma Jamma and Akeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler and that crew.
I wonder how Jim was in college.
Oh, a partier, bro.
Well, he was big
golf guy.
Yeah, big friends with Fred Couples, who
roommates.
Yeah, and Fred Couples, another
notorious,
sneaky cool guy.
Notorious,
yeah.
And still kind of like under the radar, can kind of
usually
in the shotgun seat of the guy having the best time at the tournament.
Right,
You know
exactly.
what I mean? Like I was with Freddie.
Yeah.
Oh, look at old Freddie.
And Freddie's got a driver.
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
Freddie definitely has a driver. And that's another thing from Tiger's standpoint. I can't believe that there's somebody on tour that's like, yo, Tig,
I got a guy.
Are you kidding me? Are you still getting in car accidents, bro? Like, we stopped that a decade ago, man.
They got Uber.
You got hundreds of millions of dollars in the account, man. Put somebody on staff.
I'll do it.
For $40K a year.
I'll do it for $10 an hour.
Give them benefits, man. Just let them hang out with Tiger.
Yeah, you don't have to be. You don't have to. You 1099 them.
You're driving to go see Justin Herbert and Drew Brees on play golf at 7 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast, bro. I mean, I got dozens of people that'll line up to do that job today.
You could call somebody at 6:55 and they'd be like, "I'll be right over."
Yes. I mean, I think we all say what we would do if we had money.
That's a no-brainer.
That is a no-brainer to me. I mean, that's a no-brainer. I mean, if this is an issue for me, and I like my sleeping pills and I like my uppers, which, Tig's been known to, a little rumor.
Tiger gets loose. What of it?
That's all good.
Yeah.
Just get the driver.
No problems at that point. Do whatever you want in the back seat.
Brandon Bugara asks Boogaroo asked the JC Show, how many people got all four teams in the Final Four? I can't imagine anybody did.
No, there's no way.
That any. No, did you fill out a bracket? Mm-hmm. Did you fill out a bracket? Who was your Final Four? Speaking of that microphone, boy.
Illinois, Gonzaga. I'm trying to think who else.
Yeah, I had Illinois and Gonzaga.
I had Illinois winning it.
You had Ohio State.
Oh God, you got
wow. So you done? Yeah, I had Texas. I had Texas in the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
I want to say I had Ohio State going deep.
See, I think we all fill out the bracket the same way. You look at it one time and you just fill it out, and then it's over, and you're like, I don't even know who I just like. What did I just? How did I get Texas in the Final Four?
I know I had Baylor and Gonzaga because that's the game that I want to see. And I think I think I speak for the majority of the sport there.
It was because it was supposed to happen already.
It was. I mean, I love that.
Are you glad that it hasn't happened yet?
Yes, I am. Now I am. And it was called off 2 hours before tip-off.
Right.
Like, both teams were in the arena.
There.
I mean, about to get after it, and they called the game off. Brandon Booger, did you? Booger says, well, one person did. Maybe. What a haul, bro. What a haul.
I mean, there's no way somebody put UCLA in there.
From the first four to the final four.
Four to the Final Four.
I mean, you would imagine that if there's anybody, it would be a UCLA fan.
Oh, you know who it was? Mick Cronin's dad. I mean, that guy, he gets more TV time than anybody I've ever seen.
Every
a lot of
time they
TV time.
score a bucket, the
He's got a little go-to celly, and he knows that camera's on him, and
He does.
they got to have an over/under count on this guy.
I'm looking at the topper leaderboards of the Jordy Culotta Show bracket challenge.
Is there a book up there?
Hunter Abear has Gonzaga, Houston, Baylor, and Alabama as his final four. Ryan Robichaux, who's in second place, has Gonzaga, Houston, Baylor, and Michigan, as he nearly had all four of them. Justin Pate's got Gonzaga, Houston, Baylor, and Alabama. Sally Hurst is in fourth. Look at Katie in fifth place, bro. She's in fifth place. Here's Brandon Bugara has Gonzaga, Houston, Baylor, and UCLA.
Oh, that's why he came out here to flex on us.
Yeah, bro. Get out of here with your question, man.
Who do you have winning it all?
Gonzaga, he's got the champ is Houston.
Oh, I mean,
He's got Gonzaga and Houston in the Natty. Katie's got Illinois and Gonzaga in the Natty. She's out. But what a run for Katie.
that's impressive.
From 300 participants and in the top 5 going into Final Four weekend. And at times was holding the top spot for a while.
Yeah, up until the Elite Eight.
Those Oral Roberts picks were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Let it
Oral Roberts.
rise.
That was the one. I'm scrolling this thing. I have gone down this mouse, with 4 big swipes, and I see no Culotta's.
You got to Control F and search Culotta.
I don't see any of them anywhere around, man. Towards the bottom of the pack. Jordy Culotta, 276 for you, bro.
Oh, that's like bottom 15%, dude. You host a sports talk show.
Callie Swinson, my sister, 326 out of 326.
There you go. Runs in the family.
Yes, indeed. We'll get her we got to get her something to just winging it.
Yeah.
We got to get her a prize for finishing last.
Brief package.
Yes. Bugara. Now we see why you're asking, man. Go big or go home. We got you, bro. We got you.
Go Booger, go home.
Yeah, that's right. All right, hour 2 coming up. We're going to talk to Lee Carney. We're going to talk to Matt Sayman. Looking forward to that conversation. We'll ask Sayman about Baylor, who he's got in his Final Four, what the feeling is around an all-Texas side of the bracket, as Texas and Baylor will square off for the first of the chance for the national championship. So we will talk to all those guys coming up here in the second hour. Come back with us. Jordy Culotta Show every single day is driven and powered by Geaux Chevrolet. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, Jordy@JordyCulottashow.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. Jordy@JordyCulottashow.com to learn more. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Geaux Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Geaux Chevrolet. Remember, Geaux Chevrolet is located down in LaPlace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard.
Hello?
All right, welcome back in hour 2 of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered every single day by Geaux Chevrolet. Speaking of Geaux Chevrolet, Lee Carney is in the building. We will talk to him in a couple of minutes, but have been looking forward to our next conversation. As we talked about this a little bit following the Elite Eight, and last weekend was Baylor basketball, and just the comeback. I mean, where they were and where they are now. 2002, you think about it, Dave Bliss and everything that was going on with this program. Baylor, in my opinion, has to be the best reconstruction of a college program, the most successful maybe in the history of college athletics, and where they're coming from back in 2002 to now playing inside of the Final Four this weekend up in Indianapolis. Matt Sayman was a basketball player on the team in the program at Baylor between 2000 and 2004. He was there during that time. Such a controversial time, and a time that was incredible with the news that was coming out of a D1 basketball program in that time period. And now he's a very successful head basketball coach at Grapevine Faith Christian School over in Dallas, and he joins us now here on the Jordy Culotta Show just to talk a little bit about Baylor basketball, where they've been and now where they are. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely. And also the author of the title of the book is called The Leftovers, Basketball, Betrayal, Baylor, and Beyond. Coach, take me back to 2003, or excuse me, 2002, if you could, as you were a normal student athlete getting prepared for a basketball season, and then little did you know that your life was going to completely be flipped upside down with the rest of the Baylor campus. What was that time like for somebody that was within the program?
Yeah, so the 2002-2003 season, we underachieved a little bit, but we had a couple pros that were coming up that were going to be juniors, and then we had some seniors like me and two other, Terrence Thomas and R.T. Gwynn, that were going to be solid role players. And with Coach Bliss, I'd almost played 100 games with him and the coaching staff. Everything seemed to be going on the right path and the right direction. And we were picked to be top 4 in the Big 12 my senior year for 03-04. And everybody knows that in the Big 12, if you're in the top 6 or 7, you have a chance to make the NCAA tournament and make a deep run. And so it seemed to be like everything was going in the right direction. And it was June of 2003, I just left the weight room at the Farrell Center, and I get a call from one of my professors telling me to turn on the TV and check out the news. And I could tell from just the tone in his voice that there was something different, something serious. And sure enough, man, I saw my program all over the news, but not for positive things. And over the course of that summer, I lost 10 teammates due to that scandal and tragedy. And then a bunch of guys decided not to come back. Really, our talent decided not to come back. And our coaching staff, all of them they basically left before they were forced to leave or told to leave. And so I'm going into my senior year with 6 scholarship players, a brand new coaching staff, and Coach Drew, he was 32 years old at the time.
Wow.
Not one dude over 40 in that coaching staff at that moment. And, it just wasn't the picture that when you're a young player grinding and dreaming of what your college experience could be like, it was incredibly different.
Did you have any idea? Did you have the foresight? You were so young at the time, but did you get the feeling when Drew showed up that, man, this might be the guy that could get this thing right?
One regret that I have is I loved our previous coaching staff. I think they got me. They appreciated what I brought to the game because I wasn't flashy and I didn't score a bunch, but I was really tough and just played hard and was scrappy. And so I was a starter near the end of my junior year and had that role. And so I was happy, with where we were. And so when everything fell apart, I had a hard time. I felt a little bit betrayed. I felt a little foolish because I didn't realize what was going on, because it wasn't just, what happened to Patrick and Dottie, those two involved. It was also the coaching staff I played for was doing a lot of things wrong right in front of me.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. And so I felt a little silly. And I was guarded. And when Coach Drew came in talking about faith and hope in the future, I just looked around that room at the players or lack of players in it and say, Coach, what? In my heart, I thought, what a hope are you talking about? Mm-hmm. And that year we went through a lot. There are some amazing moments that we had, and we did some things that nobody thought we should do. But even after that year, I thought that was just a blip, and Baylor is happy that we're gone and they can move on. But I didn't realize how quickly Coach Drew and his staff could turn it around. And even, it was like 4 or 5 years after they're making the NCAA tournament. And, it's been incredible to watch.
Can you take me back to that time when you saw the news or you heard the news that there was an investigation that your teammates were in a murder investigation? When did that hit you? When did you realize that this is different?
It hit me. Yeah, it hit me. Obviously in that moment, you immediately call people in your life for reassurance when things like that happen. And I understand, like some people would say, well, it's just basketball. Well, not to me and my family, because we had dedicated our lives, since I was 9, moved from Pennsylvania down to Texas right before my freshman year so I could go to a high school that I thought would help me to become the player I could become in the Colony and play for Tommy Thomas. And so, it was a big deal to us. And so I called my dad, and he said, you know what, you just got to be prepared for the fact that you might not have a senior season. They may cancel the program. And I was like, that wasn't the reassurance I was looking for from my dad, but he just was a straight shooter.
Sure.
And so, when that started happening, and then I loved the university, and I still do now, but I loved it at that time and felt like it was the perfect place. But man, they closed in. They called it the Baylor bubble. The Baylor bubble closed in on us. Anywhere I went, there were news cameras. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying following me, but at our Student Life Center, I just go to shoot or work out, and there's cameras there. Everybody wanted to know what I knew and to get the inside scoop. When I'm driving from Waco to Dallas, it's like a 2-hour drive, and New York Times calls me, or the Chicago Tribune. That'd be pretty cool if they were calling me because, one, our program is about to be really good, or I was such a good player that, but they just wanted to know and get the inside scoop. I felt like, I really feel like I couldn't leave my apartment. I felt like when I went to, there was one story that was done, and they were videoing or asking students their opinion. And one of the students said, a friend of mine said, you better watch out for those basketball players. And I felt like, golly, is he talking about me? Like, am I one of those guys? And so it was, and unfortunately in my personal life, I ran to some things that I had never really done before and changed my lifestyle because basketball was broken. And I was searching for peace and maybe some happiness and in the wrong places. And I didn't realize at the time how those habits would follow me years after Baylor. But basketball was tough at the onset. I wasn't really passionate about it. I was giving, I think, what we would call false effort. And Coach Drew saw it, and my teammates saw it, and we all kind of had to figure out, okay, are we going to play hard and compete every night as if it's our championship, or are we just going to mail this thing in? Because this is an impossible situation, it seems like.
You're now a very successful high school basketball coach at Grapevine Faith Christian School over there in Texas. Have you been able to shake that summer? Does it still haunt you?
For 9 years it did. I just call them the dark years. But really my 20s, filled with anger, resentment. What I did that day, that time, is I took control of my life. But really what I mean by that is I took control of my happiness and basically said, I don't care what it takes. I'm just going to do what I want, whenever I want. And over those years, it was destructive, and I really ruined relationships and just held on to this bitterness. And you know what that did is it blinded me to the fact that what we did that year, me and our two other seniors, RT Gwynn and Terrence Thomas, those of us that stuck around and those of us that endured those first few years, we built a foundation and something. Now the coaching staff for years and still reach out to me and reach out to my teammates and thank us for what we did. But for years, I didn't believe it. I didn't think it was real. And this was like in 2008 or 9, I was going to American Airlines to watch Baylor play Gonzaga, actually. And I walked down into the American Airlines Center and I looked around at these 6'10" future pros and just the studs that Baylor had. And I thought, first of all, I can't play on this team. if it was 5 years ago, they're too good.
Yeah, right.
I thought, how did they do this? And the chaplain, Pastor Weibel, he's like 6'8" himself, put his big old arm around me and drew me close and said, Matt, look out at the floor. This wouldn't have happened without it's not for what you guys did. And so I've had people pour into my life, and I've had some other things in my life change dramatically that have been able to now. It's like I was blind, but I see the reason, and I see the why behind what we did. And, I'm not saying they're in the Final Four because of us. That'd be pretty cocky and pretty vain, but we're a part of it, man, for sure. For sure. And so when I watch these guys play, my chest just swells with pride. And I'm, to be able to know that we always tell as coaches, players, you're a part of something bigger than yourself. And it's not lip service, but sometimes players really never get to see it or feel it. But man, I feel it.
We have seen Coach Drew come into our state and pluck players like Tweety Carter and Rico Gathers and Jared Butler.
Yeah, they like Louisiana,
goodness gracious, man. You're a high school coach in the state of Texas. What's the respect level like for Drew's program?
Oh, now, what's funny is when I talk to high school players or parents, and it comes up that I played college basketball, when they say, where'd you play? I say, Baylor. Their eyes get really wide, and they go, oh, wow. Yeah. And I chuckle inside a little bit because they don't really realize the state of the program when I got there. Like, I was a part of Coach Bliss's first recruiting class, and we weren't very good before I got there. And then, he turned things around a little bit. And, so it's just one of those things where it's a destination where people want to go. And Coach Drew has made Waco a place where people are excited to be, which is incredible.
Matt Sayman, he's on Twitter, @Matt_Sayman is where you can find him. A very successful high school coach, a preacher over in the Dallas and Grapevine area over there, and a former player at the University of Baylor, and also authored the book The Leftovers: Basketball, Betrayal, Baylor, and Beyond. As I purchased it last night. Within man. Absolutely. Within my bookstore. I'm going to get into it because I watched the documentary on Showtime a couple of weeks back, and it was gripping. I know the story was tragic and terrible, but just the frontline reporting and going back to that summer and realizing that you were a part of that team is amazing. Just to see what you all went through. Thank you for sharing your story with us this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely,
man. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yes, sir. And our friend Mark Cassio, we appreciate him setting this up. Thank you, Coach. There he is.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Yes, sir. There is Mark Sayman checking in with us from Waco there this morning. As the book is fascinating. The Leftovers: Basketball, Betrayal, Baylor, and Beyond. Get in here, Lee. As Baylor and Houston are duking it out in the Final Four this weekend. You've got Gonzaga and UCLA on the other side. Lee Carney played college basketball for Southeastern at a magical time in Hammond. Really and truly, I mean, when you look at the staff with, Kennedy and Roman Banks, that was a really a good time to be around that pro. Do you remember the summer of 2002 and what Baylor went through with Dave Bliss?
Well, I coached at Panola Junior College after I graduated from Southeastern. And so, what was his name? The guy that he played at Paris Junior College, I think.
Dennehy? Patrick Dennehy? The player that was murdered?
No, the player
Carlos Dotson.
Carlos Dotson.
Carlos
Dotson played at Paris Junior College and went to Baylor from Paris Junior College, and so Panola was in the same league.
Wow.
As them. So I think he was a sophomore maybe the first year I coached at Panola, and then he went to Baylor. So yes, so we didn't play against them, but I coached against them.
Yeah. What a crazy time. And
that was.
I mean, so you've played it, you coached it at that level. Can you imagine of where that program was and now where they are this weekend?
No, it's what Coach Drew's been able to come in there and do and change that culture and change that mindset over the past I guess that's been
it's
15 years,
more than that. I mean, 17 years.
17 years ago.
I mean,
yeah, he's done a remarkable job.
Lee Carney. You recognize him. Many of you will see him on this broadcast and think ancient athlete, sharpshooter. But he is nursing an Achilles.
I'm
again.
retired.
Are you?
Yeah,
I've heard that before.
I'm retired.
But he is he's the CEO of Geaux Chevrolet, which we rock every single day here. Nice logo placement right there under Mike's right foot. But exciting news over at Geaux Chevrolet. If you guys have been in business now just over 3 months. 4 months. 4 months.
120 days. 120 days, 8 hours, 52 minutes, and 3 seconds. But who's counting?
Right?
Not a stat sheet guy.
But coming to Florida Boulevard today.
We are. We're opening up a used car lot. Go Express Auto Sales. GoExpressAutoSales.com. It's on the
I have heard in the feedback, because I mean everywhere I go I'm wearing the letters, I'm wearing the logo, and people are reacting and commenting about what's going on at Go. And the people in Baton Rouge, which we miss you at lunch, buddy, are saying that how convenient you guys make it. That you would come to Baton Rouge with any car that somebody wanted to test drive and anything that they were thinking about buying. You guys have made it very easy and convenient.
Yeah, and we that's something we wanted to do when we started, and of course we're going to continue to do that now that we're in Baton Rouge, because it'll be we'll be here a lot more, coming back and forth. So anything you need, we'll pick the car up, we'll drop a car off, we'll come to your house, we'll come to your work. We want to make it convenient as much as we can for anybody. So
hours of operation for Expresso:
9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday.
Nice. So how will you be splitting your time? Will people see your face?
Yeah, we're going to be back and forth. Nick's going to be there a lot too, and I'm going to be there a lot. So we're going to try to, it's new to us since we're starting today, so we're going to try to figure that out.
Yeah. Who you got this weekend? How you like the Final Four?
Well, I had Baylor and Gonzaga, with Baylor winning it in my bracket for you.
You got Baylor beating Gonzaga.
I got Baylor beating Gonzaga.
Wow.
And the only reason is I think Gonzaga's a better team. But there's only been one team that's been undefeated in 50, 60 years, and that's Indiana in, 1976?
Yeah.
So I had to go with my betting.
Okay.
Play the odds.
Yeah, I had to play the odds, and the odds are Gonzaga can't run the table. But listen, who knows? When you get this far down the road,
anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen. There's some tough teams, man.
Both of those teams, though, I mean, I hate it for Houston and UCLA. I don't hate it for them. I mean, they're in the Final Four. But, I mean, everybody's talking and wanting Gonzaga-Baylor. It seems like that's been the game that everybody's wanted from start to finish. And after seeing Gonzaga play, I mean, Coach, they look like a G League team.
And they just got one of the top 10 players of the country just committed to them.
That's the difference with this Gonzaga run, right, is that they've got, like, high-end players. I mean, Suggs is going to be he could be a top pick.
And they got the transfer from Florida, the guard that should have been at Florida this year.
Nimhard. Yeah.
So he's great. Now, I'm kind of rooting for Baylor. One, my brother-in-law went to Baylor. Kristen's brother went to Baylor.
Okay.
But two, Baylor's got two Louisiana kids.
Yes.
The Jared Butler kid from Reserve Christian, and then the Marcus Vitale kids, I think, from Lake Charles.
Let me see. I'm here. Yeah, he's at Lake Charles. He went to advanced prep.
Yeah.
Golly, 6'9". How does he get out of Lake Charles?
I don't know how either one of those kids get out of.
All right, I know you're busy. It's great to see you.
Yep, thank you for letting me come by.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
You have an open invite anytime you want.
Go Express Auto Sales.
Yep, Florida Boulevard.
Florida Boulevard and Sherwood. So.
And then don't forget about Laplace. Go Chevrolet,
Absolutely.
man. GEAUX Chevrolet.com. Lee Carney, our great friend and title sponsor of our show. He drives us every day, man. We appreciate Go Chevrolet. We really cannot express how much we appreciate them. Go sell cars, man.
We'll do it.
See
Thank
bro.
you, man. I
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
We'll be right back. We'll have Jamar Chase's dad in with us here as Jimmy Chase will stop by here on the show. In fact, you know what? We're going to call Jimmy right now and just get into him.
Get that Bluetooth going, dog.
Did we unconnect?
Yeah, it's off right now. I don't know how that works.
Bro. I'll tell you what. I think when we bring some people into
Oh, you know, that's definitely what it is.
into the area, it just gets a little confused.
It's like the show, dude. She's just not the smartest.
No, that's right. That's right. There's
Too
nothing
much
wrong
things
with that.
going on. We
Nothing
get our,
wrong
you
with
know. There we go.
All right, we're good. All right, let's see if we can't. Jimmy's probably rolling around in the cash this morning, huh?
Good God, how good does that feel?
Jimmy. Let's link up with our guy, man. My favorite right here. One of our favorites. Jamar Chase Sr. goes by Jimmy
Proud
Chase.
Papa.
Proud Papa.
Hello?
Jimmy, you smell that?
No, what that is?
That's money, Jimmy. That's money is what you smell, my man. After everybody questioning your boy yesterday, he went and shut him up. What a day for the Chase family. We're live, man. Congratulations. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, man. I'm good this morning.
Yes, indeed.
good. I'm good
Do
this
you
morning.
remember when they were debating whether they were going to take Devonta Smith or Jamar Chase as the first wide receiver? That conversation's over.
Well, I remember that. Jamal remember that.
Yeah.
You know, everybody remember that.
Could yesterday have gone any better?
It couldn't have gone much better. I mean, I'm gonna say like my daughter said. Yesterday was the best day ever. Okay?
It was. It absolutely was. I mean, when I saw his quote that he was surprised on how fast he ran, it made me think of just how driven he's been the last year. I mean, we've talked to you twice publicly. You and I have shared some text messages, and as you've told me, people just don't know what is going on. And he has obviously been in the lab and has himself in tip-top shape. I'm like you. I just don't know how yesterday could have gone any better. What has been the feedback? What has been the immediate feedback from yesterday?
Jody, I'm still trying to get it together this morning. I mean, it was like we were on a roller coaster yesterday after he ran that 40. I mean, everything just took off, you know, but it's been like Jamar has been a lot of people. You don't remember the video that came out, right? You don't want to make him mad. Right. And he was listening to everything everybody said about him after he opted out. He was listening or watching, you know, everybody talking about the other receivers and everybody talking about everybody but him. Right. And he listened to all of that. And, you know, he just said, Daddy, I'm ready. You know, our thing was, I told him, keep your head down, bro. Just focus and do what you got to do. And he was in the lab and he did what he had to do.
I saw where Nike announced that they have made him one of their faces and athletes of the future. Can you tell me how cool that is? What was that like in deciding on what shoe company you guys were going to go with?
That was pretty amazing. I mean, you know, it was a tough decision, you know, because you had some other variables involved in that, but, you know, we had to get what's best for Jamar, and Nike kind of like fit our plans, you know. Feet are the most important thing that you have, especially playing wide receiver. So we had to get him somewhere so he could take care of his feet.
What is next for him? I mean, he's not working out anymore, right? I mean, the first round of the draft is 1 month from today in Cleveland. What are his plans for the next month? I mean, do you just lock him into a room full of bubble wrap?
No, Jody, y'all didn't create a monster now. You know, you're talking about he's going back in the lab.
Yeah.
You know, that's all he knows how to do.
Yeah.
You know, I think he may go back to Dallas, you know, and work out some more out there, but, you know, he's on the road now. Just lit a fire under him. Okay. So he isn't going to sit around and, you know, count his laurels. He's going to attack and take it to another level, you know.
Quarterback is the cachet position. Everybody wants one. Everybody's searching for one. People will give up draft picks, future picks for one. It seems like the first 4 picks want a quarterback, and then Cincinnati sits there at 5 where they have their future, and it just so happens to be Jamar's former quarterback where they set all types of records in college football. Do you see that as the spot that most makes sense, and what has been the feedback of reuniting Burrow and Chase?
That sounds awesome, the reuniting thing, but I don't know, man. Nobody has the answer for that right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it can go that way. It can go other ways. I think some people, after yesterday, I think some people are going to try to make some moves. That's my belief.
Yeah.
They're not going to let him sit there at that spot. But I don't know. Cincinnati, I don't know, Jordan. It's crazy right now.
No way he gets out of the top 5, though. How good of a day was it for
Right.
Terrace Marshall and Racey McMath? I mean,
Man, but see, I seen those guys. They worked out Sunday, and I went to the little practice. What they had, a little throw around, and they all looked at so nice. Like they all looked at strong, fast, and crisp.
Yeah.
And then it showed yesterday. I mean, wow, all of them to run sub 4.3 times. That was crazy, But they just push each other. They just push each other to the fullest, and that's what you get out of that.
It was good to see Justin Jefferson there supporting the crew as well yesterday.
Yeah.
Jimmy, we all hear about this process where NFL teams hire private investigators. They hire people to follow these guys around. They hire people to talk to you. Have you seen any of that? What is this? I mean, because you guys have had an extended version of this. People have known that Jamar is going to be a top 5 pick for the last year and a half, and he has not been playing football. Have you guys had any experiences that you've just been like, whoa, what's going on here?
No, I can't say that off the bat, but I know we didn't probably have some private eyes on us. You know what I'm saying? I know they've been kind of like keeping tabs on Jamar and his friends and stuff like that. So they haven't revealed themselves, but I know they're out there.
Absolutely, 100%. How was it being back at LSU yesterday? It was always phenomenal to go out there and always see you rocking the 7 jersey, the 7 hat, the 1 hat at every practice and in spring practice and every workout you were around. What was it like being around the crew yesterday?
It was exciting, man. It was exciting. That's family over there. Every time I go there, they treat me the same way, and I miss those people, But it's like, everything in life change. Change comes without your permission. So things are changing, but we still family, and I still welcome over there, and I still enjoy it, and I still love them people over there.
Absolutely, man. And I think it's only a matter of time before it'll be debated on whether or not his name could be on the facade of Tiger Stadium with what he accomplished in his 2 seasons as an LSU Tiger. Proud of you and your family, man. I know this is a very exciting time, and as always, we appreciate you scratching aside a couple of minutes to let us in on some of the excitement, because we can't wait to see him ball again. And yesterday was a great day for his fans, and I know for his family. So thank you, congratulations, and best of luck to whatever comes next here in the next month, man.
Appreciate it, Jordy, man. Happy to be with you anytime.
Always. We'll talk again soon. There he is.
All right.
Jimmy Chase checking in from New Orleans this morning. You can hear it in his voice. That is a very proud papa after what his son Jamar was able to put down on the record yesterday in front of all 32 NFL teams were represented at LSU yesterday, a part of that pro day.
How good did he sleep last night?
Whew.
It's got to be. A relief for sure. But you got to. I'm sure he was like, well, he's gonna go out and ball. I know my son. And then just as everybody to see, it's like, okay, we're good.
Jamar's comment yesterday. He said he was surprised that he ran 4.3. He said he knew he was going to run 4.4, but to get to that 4.3 number was even surprising to him, which is incredible to think about. The possibility of him and Burrow, it seems like it's becoming a little bit more real. But as Jimmy just said there, Jimmy Chase. That there could be teams that move up, now with the anybody that may need a wide receiver, and to see those types of test scores that Jamar was able to put down, and then just turn the film on. I doubt that any of these guys forget, but when you talk about what he was able to do against some of the guys that went in the first round, just in last season's draft, whether it's A.J. Terrell at Clemson. Whether it's my guy at Miami, at Alabama, who went to Dallas, Diggs, who he crushed. I mean, just killed that guy. on national television. So we'll see, man, because I think that Ja'Marr Chase is set, man. Remember, Relief Health. Download the app, Google and Apple stores today. Relief Health is changing the way that healthcare is brought to you in 2021. In fact, they are coming to you. They're coming to the house, the business. They have the Moderna vaccine right now. If you want to get in touch with Relief Health, in fact, they have COVID tests that are live. Just download the app, Relief Health, Apple, Google, app stores. Easy to get onto your smart device and get in touch with a professional within minutes. And they can diagnose you over digital properties, or they can come to you, come to your house, come to your office. Relief Health, as they are changing the way that medicine and doctors and healthcare is done here in 2021. From one dad to the other, as Jimmy Chase awaits his name, his son's name to be called in the top round, in the top part of the first round of the NFL draft 1 month from today. Joe Burrow was the number 1 overall selection a year ago in the NFL draft, and his dad, Jimmy Burrow, who coached so much football, spent 40 years walking sidelines, has sat back now and watched the rookie year of Joe come out, and now going through the process of rehabbing and getting prepared for another season. And does Ja'Marr Chase fit into the plans of the Cincinnati Bengals? We will link up with Coach Burrow right here on the Jordy Culotta Show, as we always appreciate our time with the soft-spoken.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
We're doing good. We're live down here on YouTube on the Jordy Culotta Show, talking to our favorite, Coach Jimmy Burrow, one of our favorites. We just hung up with Jimmy Chase. I said the same thing. You two guys are two of my favorites that you allow us in to hear your excitement and everything that's going on with your families, and we've been able to watch from the front row. So I know this is a very cool experience for Jimmy Chase and kind of for you now. It's got to be relieving, right, to see these high-end guys going through it, and you already have gone through this and know what it's like and know what it entails.
Well, certainly yesterday was a credit to those guys that did go through pro day and the coaches at LSU, the way the whole thing was put on, and it's nerve-wracking for someone like Ja'Marr to go through that. I mean, really, what did he have to gain from that? He's already a top 5 pick, but again, I think that just shows you what kind of character that he has. And we got to know Jimmy through especially me that last year, and had some fun with him before the game. We'd try to predict how many touchdowns Joe would throw to Ja'Marr during the course of the game, and we always leaned toward 3, but it didn't always happen. Yeah. But we had fun, but to get that over with for those guys, I'm sure is a big relief. And Joe last year didn't really have any of those things to do, so that played out probably good for Joe.
Coach, put your football hat back on for me, and you were a defensive coordinator for so many years. When you break down the prospect of Ja'Marr Chase, you see him on film and you would have to defend him. What do you see and how do you do it?
So I don't think you can just let him run free off the line of scrimmage, and that's easier said than done. I mean, you try to put somebody on him and somebody deep, and whether that's a double team or at least a reroute at the line of scrimmage. But the combination of strength and size and speed kind of puts you at a disadvantage to even put somebody up there to try to reroute and be physical with him, because he's a very physical receiver as well as being, as you saw yesterday, one of the fastest guys around. So try to mix it up on him, and that's probably your only hope. Pass rush.
Yeah. It was good to see number 9 moving around last weekend, as he was ringside at a couple of the fights. So it obviously rehab must be trending in the right direction. Things are good.
Yeah, things are good. He had not really done anything. I mean, he's just locked in over in Cincinnati with his rehab every day, and that gave him a little break to get down to Vegas, and he was able to go with me to the Bobcat game over in Indianapolis. So that was fun. I think he was ready to at least get out of the house a couple of times, but we're excited about how it's going. It's on schedule for sure, and but it's a lot of hard work and still a long way to go.
In a typical BDJ move after the win by Ohio, Joe Burrow calls in his credit card number to the local bar and tells him that the drinks are on him for the night. This is a great time of the year, and that's a great tournament. How cool was it for Ohio University and the Burrows to experience a little success in the first weekend?
Well, we've always certainly loved
Sure.
Ohio football because I coached, but we also loved Ohio basketball because Joe, grew up shooting in the convocation center there. He thought he was a basketball player early. I had a key to the convocation center, and so we would shoot at night, and basically for many years went to almost every home game. So we even went, I think, once to Nashville to the NCAA tournament when they were playing there. So any success that Ohio University has, we're excited about.
Coach, can you talk about the benefit of Joe being a two-sport star coming out and kind of how you've seen that translate? Because, down here in the South or down here in this part of the country, they've tried to, and maybe you guys experienced this in the Midwest, where they're trying to isolate sports for these kids in high school, where they just wanted to play one thing, one sport, specifically baseball in this part of the world. And I've seen college coaches, especially recruiters, talk about the benefit of athletes playing multi-sports, and I think that Joe is a great example of that, him being an all-state basketball player and the top quarterback in Ohio his senior year. Can you talk about, from your point of view, both as a recruiter and as a dad, the advantage that you've seen from multi-sports in guys at that level?
As a coach and recruiter, I'm definitely a big proponent of multiple sports. I mean, I spent many recruiting nights watching young men play basketball to really evaluate from a closer range, how athletic they were, how they reacted on the bench, and those type things that you can see a lot better, maybe at a basketball game. But just to continue to find your niche in whatever sport is good. As a dad, if we would have probably back when Joe was 7th, 8th grade, probably even 9th grade, if you just said, "Hey Joe, let's just concentrate on one sport," that would have been basketball at the time, and we'd have never gotten to where we are today as far as Joe being a football player, because that was his love, and his body type was a basketball player, taller and lean at the time. So there's just a ton of reasons for kids to continue to play multiple sports. I think if you ask Joe, the one regret that he has from high school would be that he didn't play baseball. Some people thought baseball was Joe's best sport, really, growing up, and he almost went back out his senior year in the spring, and I know that he definitely regrets that, not playing in the spring, and just keeping kids involved and not playing video games 24/7, and Joe certainly likes to play those, but multiple sports keeps them busy and really adds to their athletic development.
What position did he play?
He played a lot of different positions in baseball. I mean, he would play growing up shortstop, and then as he got taller and bigger, became an outfielder, played some first base. He pitched a little, so he was athletic enough to really move around. But yeah, he could hit. I mean, he was a home run hitter, and just again, we went to a lot of different baseball games. He was on travel teams and around this part, Southeast Ohio, and it was basically the same group of kids that he grew up playing basketball and football with. So I'm sure he would say that was really a fun time in his growing up.
Here on opening day, I got Joey Burrow. If he dresses out tonight for Oakland, I got him no-hitting the Astros here on just being out of baseball, just that type of athlete. There is a young Burrow on the University of Virginia squad, right? Does Addy Burrow play second base for the Wahoos?
Well, he's a DH and he plays outfield. He plays center field and right field. He started his first game against George Washington a few nights ago. They decided to pull his red shirt year, and he's a true freshman. He DH'd one other game. He got his first hit and his first RBI and scored his first run against George Washington. So he's moving along, developing, and they travel to Georgia Tech. I think they probably go there today since they play Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday, just like most college teams. It's a three-day weekend, and he's on the travel squad, so he's hoping to either be the DH or get in the game at some point.
Had to be some cool Burrow bets on that Ohio-Virginia game with the home Burrow feeling really good about the Ohio upset.
That one, maybe I wasn't as confident. I did tell my brother that we were going to beat them, but Virginia's a great basketball team. I was more confident of the Creighton game. Yeah. And Joe and I both lost some money with betting Jamie because he lives in Omaha. And anybody that lives in Omaha certainly follows Creighton basketball. So that was kind of a fun 2-game deal there for him.
I know that being the dad of the franchise quarterback does not give you a voice at the table, but the franchise quarterback sure does have one. And when asked, he liked the possibility of reuniting with Jamar. Just from your point of view, the buzz around that in that part of the country, and I know that you I don't want to ask you who you think they're going to draft, but do you see that as a possibility?
I'm sure it's a possibility. I mean, Joe certainly had a great relationship with Jamar on and off the field, but really he would only give his input if he was asked by the front office, and that may or may not have happened or will happen, but that's a front office decision along with the coaching staff. I know that's a politically correct thing to say, but it really is. I mean, if they ask Joe, I'm sure he'd give his 2 cents. But that's the future of the team kind of decision that one player, one quarterback can't really make that decision. So we're excited about the possibilities of several people at that number 5 pick, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
It will be cool to put the most dynamic quarterback wide receiver duo in college football history back together at the pro level. If that's an opportunity, how cool it would and be to see them in Tigers uniforms again playing for the Bengals. Is it always good to catch up with you, Coach? Thank you, and hopefully you guys received your gear. Tell Miss Robin and everyone hello in that part of the country.
We did, Dan and Jama and Joe. We'll be here this weekend for Easter, so we're excited about that, and we've had our gear on, and it's cool. You did good.
Happy Easter, Happy Easter, Coach. We'll talk again soon. Yes, sir.
All right. Bye.
There he is, as Lloyd says it best. There, Father to the Son of the Holy Spirit. That is Jimmy Burrow.
Gets the whole thing.
Checking in with us here on the Jordy Culotta Show. It seems like it's a possibility, man. I mean, it seems very, very real now that this is, and nothing that Jimmy's that any of the Jimmys said, Jimmy Chase or Burrow, make me believe that. But
they're both
just
talking through a smile.
It is, man. I mean, it is something to think about. Our friend Randy Lanois points out, and I wanted to bring this up. Former LSU men's assistant head coach, where he was the associate head coach in 2019 on the LSU staff, was spent last season at East Tennessee State, is now a head coach at Northwest Florida State, which is a junior college basketball program over there. And I think that this is an absolute perfect fit. Heyer used to be the head coach at Chipola Junior College over there. And John Brady will tell you, and we'll talk to Coach Brady when he comes back here about this specifically, but Heyer and Brady were super tight when Brady was the head coach both at LSU and Arkansas State, while Greg Heyer was the head coach over at Chipola Junior College, because of the way that those guys were coached and the caliber of players that he was getting. I think that Greg Heyer is a phenomenal basketball coach. If you doubt my word, ask people like Skylar Mays, Naz Reid, Emmett Williams, Darius Days, and the list goes on the impact that Heyer had on those guys daily. And Will Wade is a good friend of mine. And I think that Wade misses Heyer next to him. Specifically somebody that has a X and O basketball mind that can coach within the game. I thought Wade did a tremendous job here in the second half of the season of making adjustments, really developing the special teams angles and becoming a threat on the inbounds and side out plays offensively, and their defense really improved. That task was usually on Greg Heyer to make those day in, day out improvements, and he was great at that. And I think that they need that personality on staff again. And Heyer, I think, is in a great position right now where he will be uber successful. I think he spent 6 years as Chipola's head coach. He won conference titles. He made it to the NCAA National Junior College tournament year in, year out. I think that he is a developer. He is a true coach that loves the skill aspect of teaching that part of the game. So congratulations to Greg Heyer and his family for being named the new head coach at Northwest Florida State over the last 24 hours, as Heyer is back as a head coach down in Northwest Florida. So good for him. Appreciate everybody today for stopping by. Katie just walked in. More trouble at the homestead for Katie as far as the electricity now. Go ahead, come slide back in. She's looking a little aggravated. No,
No, it's back.
oh, it's back.
Yeah.
I thought you said no, but it's fine.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
It's like my bad. No, come on. And we got people asking where Katie is. She was at Carpool, but then she was dealing with some stuff with
Good,
the.
I'm back. I feel like I missed. I mean, I was kind of hanging on, but I missed a little bit. What all did y'all cover? Put a bunch of stuff in that doc. I don't know if
we
y'all
did.
got to.
I don't know if we talked to a lot of the stuff in the document.
We got swapped up by
Did y'all
Tiger
talk about
Woods.
the Tiger? Oh, y'all did
Yes.
talk about the Tiger Woods thing.
You think it's a cover up?
I mean, kind of.
Yeah, just because of the silence. Silence screams
and
guilty.
His history.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I just can't believe you can have all that money and not hire a driver at this point. You know what I mean?
It's just got to be an ego
I mean,
thing.
I would think like
but
we all
it's a privacy
say
thing. He's very private, so
I
I don't
get
think
it.
he even wants a driver.
a cousin, a brother,
Me.
I think he's too private for that. Why did you
somebody.
say me?
Yes. What do I need to sign? An
I think
NDA?
he's
Y'all
too
signed
private
two of
for
them.
that.
That's
I
right.
think he doesn't want
You don't know
anybody.
confidentiality like this Italian here, Tiger.
Yeah, exactly.
Show me anything. Tell me anything. Nobody will know a thing. Just let me drive you,
I'll
Tiger.
delete anything you want, dude. I can go through.
No cell phone. No cell. What do you want? Flip phone? I'll do it. I'll do the whole deal, bro.
Swallow that thing.
Yeah, right. Derek Jeter rules. Put the phones in the bag. All good, man.
Water
all
on
good.
top.
That's right. That's right.
No, I think it's a privacy thing. I mean, did y'all read the part where he named his yacht privacy?
Yeah.
Y'all went over all that?
Yeah. I mean, I know
that's-
it's.
I feel like that's just where we are with him.
No, I know it is. I mean,
What a flex. What do you
It
want to
is.
name this thing?
I know,
Privacy.
right?
Get the F out of here. Stop
Right.
asking me. What do you think?
The boat that I fished on was named C- student, which I thought was
nice.
awesome.
What is it,
I
SEA?
love that.
Because no, it was a C with a minus, and the C was like in the shape of a marlin. But like he talked about
Okay.
it, he was like, I didn't like school, I didn't do well in school, and now he owns like a multi-million-dollar company. And
Damn,
has
I
a
love
yacht.
those people.
Me too.
I love that
It was
guy.
awesome.
Tell everybody at school to suck it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's basically what he's doing. His
Yeah.
whole crew wears the shirts that says C-.
I love the
student.
CEO with the presidential Rolex on that tells me he dropped out of college.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that guy.
Yeah.
I really do.
School, not for me.
I really do. And it doesn't necessarily have to have the presidential Rolex. I'm just saying the flex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't need the material stuff, but the guy that runs the shop or the lady that runs the shop
Yeah.
that walks in and says, you know what? Screw the traditional stuff, man.
I know.
college dropout just kind of made their way, and they named their boat C- student.
Yeah.
I love that guy. I've never met him, but I love him.
I know
I love him.
We talked about that at lunch yesterday about college.
What?
Didn't we?
7 years. I mean, for me, they're gonna hate me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when I walk up and I'm gonna tell them I'm not the cool guy that dropped out of college and has the millions in the bank account. I'm the guy that tried to squeeze mom and dad for a couple extra $1,000 a semester, and tried to stay 7 years.
But all that you go through and what do you really get out of it at the end of the day?
Y'all are poisoning young Noah's brain over there.
We really
Yeah, I think I'm
are.
gonna drop
Sorry,
out.
Noah.
Find a trade, Noah. Did you see what Elon Musk said is wrong with the world?
Yeah, that's why we were talking about that.
Yeah, that's why we were talking about it.
Yesterday. Yeah. I know.
All right, so good stuff today. Remember, if you're in the market for a home loan, remember over at Angel Oak that they can help you out, especially if you're self-employed. If you're self-employed and your W-2s cannot get you qualified to buy an investment property, a new home, a secondary home, a condominium, or just the home of your dreams, get in touch with us over at Angel Oak Home Loans. I can help you out directly. If you want to email me, jordy@jordyculottashow.com. I will get you in touch with a veteran team of mortgage lenders that can help you over there at Angel Oak. A lot of experience and a lot of knowledge. But if you were self-employed and you want to purchase a home, you want to get an investment property, you're looking for a condominium for your kids, let us help you get in. And you can't get qualified on W-2s, all good. Get in touch with us over at Angel Oak.
Is there one
Jordy
over on,
at JordyCulottaShow.com.
one over Voodoo that I can get?
What's that?
An apartment?
Yes, there is.
There might be a vacant one.
Yes, there is, Lloyd, and you are self-employed. Let me come sit down and talk to us.
Can't self-employed without Lloyd, baby.
That's right. That's right. All right, that is a Thursday in the books. Here on this Holy Week, tomorrow we will be with you on Good Friday.
It is Holy Week.
That's right.
What does that
Going
mean?
into Easter. Just that you celebrate all the holy days this week. You know, like tomorrow,
Maundy Thursday.
Holy
Bloody Thursday?
Maundy Thursday.
Is it?
Do Catholics not do Maundy Thursday? Surely.
I think it's Bloody Thursday.
I don't think they call it Bloody Thursday.
A little Bloody Mary to get you going in the morning. I know tomorrow is the big day for Jesus.
Tomorrow is the big day.
Big workout
The
load
Good
for him.
Friday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hate that for him.
I feel like we're offending a lot
but he comes back
of Catholics
Sunday.
right now. A lot
Just
of Catholics.
Just watch the numbers falling off the cliff.
Ooh.
All those Catholic school parents.
Oh.
This damn show.
I know, right?
Hey, I went to
No,
Catholic
it's
school
there.
for
Right, what's he
how-
doing
Yes,
on here?
yes.
12
You
years
Noah
of Catholic.
blushing.
I walk
The
in
bus
and
boy.
It's just like
Mom, it's
downhill.
not me. I didn't show up for work today.
I went to Catholic school for 12 years. I got
did?
equity in the bank with
bro.
those people.
I went to a Baptist school with Noah's aunt. We're good.
In nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. I know all my Latin.
Wow.
dude.
Look
Yeah.
at this
Wow,
guy.
Lloyd.
Thank you.
Like,
Lloyd, can you speak Latin?
Just that one. That's the
Okay.
only one I got.
Yeah.
That's
Nice
the only
flex.
one I got.
Nice
yeah.
flex.
We had to start all our prayers off like that.
Okay.
We had to know all the prayers in Latin. I just opted for the sign of the cross and kind of said, wink and a nod. We're good here, huh?
Hit me with it one more time.
Wow,
In nomine
yeah.
Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Instead of Lloyd over there.
Sound like a priest.
Yeah.
Bilingual.
Oh, yeah,
Bilingual. Look at
I've been to
this
church
guy.
Today. I'm good. That was my church. Thank
All
you.
right, happy Easter. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning as Jim Nagy will be here talking about some of the debates here on this wide receiver, Jamar Chase. He was at the pro day yesterday. How much money did Terrace Marshall make? I know that we're talking about Jamar Chase. Kerry Vincent clocked a 4.3. Racy McMath clocked a 4.3. Terrace Marshall stamped his ticket into the first round. I mean, think about the wide receivers that are going to fly off the board within the first 32 picks of the NFL first round 1 month from today. 1 month from today, the NFL's first round of the draft. You're talking about Jamar Chase going within the top 5, Devonta Smith going within the top 10, Terrace Marshall possibly going within the top 20. That's 3 Louisiana wide receivers coming off the board within the first 32 picks.
And how happy does it make you that we won a natty with all those guys? Could
Unreal.
you imagine coming home empty-handed
Yes.
and seeing that? Like, we wasted another
Beckham,
5
Landry.
talent,
Yeah, absolutely, man. All right, so Brandon Boogera helps us out. Holy Thursday today, Good Friday tomorrow, Holy Saturday on Saturday, and then Easter Sunday.
That's right.
And Sunday, Jesus
Brandon's
rolls that
off that
rock
number.
away and
That's right,
says,
man.
"What's up, dude? I'm back."
Y'all thought I was gone, didn't
yeah,
you?
Game 7.
Yes, indeed. All right, we're back with you tomorrow morning. Have a great day. Sunny Thursday. Looks a little cold outside. Looks a little
Nipply.
cold, little cold. We'll be with you tomorrow morning. Any April Fool's jokes? I saw it. Marshawn Lattimore got cut. I almost announced it.
That was a good one.
I almost announced it. Call the cat inside the bunker is confirmed.
That was a good one.
Marshawn Lattimore cut by the Saints.
Is that what she's filled purple yet?
I'm shocked y'all didn't do
God.
an April Fool's thing, honestly.
Yeah.
This whole show's a joke.
April Fool's, Lloyd deleted the account again.
Yeah, it's back.
Please, God, let that be a joke. See ya.
Bye. Peace.